The Dakar is halted. The airlift begins a massive operation that will see 1,365 people safely on their way to Libya and onwards to Cairo. Well, the news leaking through last night, even before the conference, of course, and the announcement made by Hubert Auriol, the race director. Said the French Foreign Ministry had informed them that there was the possibility of terrorist attacks, and that the safety of all competitors was of paramount importance. The decision, he says, has been made not to halt the rally, but to go on. We will airlift everyone between Niamey and Sabah in Libya. This will be done by the use of an airlift, basically to continue the competition after a 5-day break on the 17th of this month. Well, the reactions throughout the camp were stern, some were incredulity. It's an exceptional situation, of course. For a sportive competition such as this, it's the only solution we can possibly find. It's going to be extremely expensive to lift everyone by air, but it's the safest thing. If we're going to continue the course, continue the race. And of course, once you've told the press, you have to tell the competitors themselves. Oh, Hubert Auriol maintaining his decorum throughout, majestically, of course. Well, he says we've come to a decision unique in the history of the Dakar. We're going to be stopping the race right here, he says, in Niamey, and we're going to then move on Monday to Libya. It's the only choice we had, he says. We put in a massive operation, which is essential to allow the Dakar 2000 to arrive safely in Cairo. It's the great strength of this Dakar. And it's like a stab in the heart, he said, to lose such a great proportion of this race. But we are going to go on with the effort of absolutely everyone. We will make it, and make it a success. Dakar is a sporting race, but nothing politics. It's about men and passion against the desert. Merci. And so, what were the thoughts? Team manager Jalba of BMW bike riders says the Dakar was always a new situation. Surprise, he said, just happens to be this time, terrorism this time. 4 days in Libya. He says, well, we can just hope that we make it all the way and that the situation doesn't deteriorate any further. Yes, a good end we hope for.
It's a little bit of a shock for me because I've been out on the piste all day. My engine was broken and I've been changing a new engine, and I arrived a half an hour ago, and to walk into the bivouac to say that the racing has been stopped for 5 days, and I think for the safety of the people it is a good thing, but for the rally it's terrible. I mean, I was hoping to make up some places. I've lost a lot of time now, and it's not a good thing, but it's good for everybody. The safety, that's important at the end of the day.
Dakar co-pilot Eric Vargoulou did all 22 of the Dakars. There's always talk about how they're going to change the situation. He said that's Africa, with the elements, the sand, nothing to do with politics at all. They've done. That's the risk That's what you have to put up with. A bit like the Olympic Games, said, a bit too famous. Ulrich Bremer, Mitsubishi team manager. As well, we're all going to be taking planes. The only possible solution, he said, if we'd stopped, it would have been the last Dakar in the history of the race. We must go on, he said, to preserve the integrity of the event. We've had problems before. We've overcome them. Now this airlift, he said, it's the only solution. We must fly on to save the race.
C'est la même sensation, c'est le même.
Well, Jackie Hicks.
C'est la même sensation qu'il y a 15 ans.
So it's the same situation as a few years ago. Exactly the same. Just a few things different. There's an excellent decision, he said. Very difficult to make. Very courageous. It's a typical move, he said, by the organisers of the Dakar. They have a great character to do this sort of thing. But it's a tragedy for the people of Niger, and indeed for all the countries of Africa, which are very poor indeed. Many people in Europe start to moralize about Africa, how poor it is and the type of people that live here. But I can tell you, he said, the Dakar is a great boost to the people of Africa, financially and spiritually. And if only people could come here and see the effect that the Dakar has, then they would change their mind. It really is an exceptional event. And as a result, it's a great tragedy for the people of Niger and all the people on the race. And we're going to miss some beautiful places, he says. It's a great decision to continue. The Dakar, he says, like it or not, it's a massive event, a great race, and needs to go on. It's unique, this race, of its type in the world, and it's something you've just got to keep going. Well done to all concerned, he said. Great decision. And it just shows what an incredible effort has to be made, and it will be made, to save this great race. And so what about the history of problems on the Dakar? Well, there's been plenty. Charles Cabine, an assistant truck driver for Citroën, was shot dead near Gao in Mali in 1991. The team decided to race on and dedicate their victories to their fallen comrades. In 1992, Paris to the Cape in South Africa, in Chad, between Numi and Gema. The race had to be stopped. It was called to a halt by Gilbert Sabine, father of Thierry Sabine. The rebels attacked the local army. Military protection for absolutely everyone through the desert. Nerves were being frayed at that time. Thankfully, there were no deaths. And then in 1996 in Morocco, 3rd of January, Laurent Gunga died. They said it was a blowout, but later it transpired it was a mine. The Folk Polisario were blamed, a rebel group in Morocco at the time. And then, of course, in 1998 and again in 1999 in Mauritania, near Tichit, 1 bike, 3 quads, 12 cars and 7 trucks were stolen. All but 2 were recovered, but everyone was badly shaken. And so, what about today? Niamey, the airport, everyone huddling together and wondering what the next few days will bring. News was beginning to filter through as to the reason for the airlift. Of course, we knew that there was a potential terrorist attack, but the magnitude of it was not available to us in terms of information. It did come through later on in the day. and it was shocking. The potential of what might have been started to affect everybody. Well, the routine had to go on, and indeed, with so many days to kill, some of the things that you wouldn't normally do were being done. Cleaning of just about everything, for one thing. Already met former driver, organizer of the Paris-Peking. There's many problems in this race, and my race as well. There are two things, though, to remember here. The future of the race is at stake. And instead of 11,000 kilometers, now it's only going to be 4,500. The price, he said, for making an airlift is a very high one in terms of money, but it's a great decision, he said. It's transpired that it's 30 million francs. It's about 4.5 million dollars, $4.5 million. And he says it's the only thing to do. There's only 4,500 kilometers left to race. He says, but you've got to realize it's a great decision. The race must go on. And indeed, time then to catch up on a few domestics. The locals in to help out. The remainder were listening to their own style of music. Not my choice, but there you go. And even time for a little golf.
Je pense que ça ne changera rien. Bien au contraire. Vous savez, il y a eu des difficultés, il y en aura encore beaucoup.
Must go on, he says. There's been many problems before.
Un peu ce qui nous attendait. Ça va être encore vraiment très très copieux.
It's a great race, he said, and needs to be saved. All practical situations were balanced. We're going to miss some great stages in Niamey, but you always have to adapt and improvise, and that's exactly what we're doing. On the Dakar, boots getting cleaned. You don't see privateers having time to do that very often. Of course, the stars, such as Alfie Cox and Jimmy Lewis, they have a backing of a team who clean their boots for them. Oh, Hubert Oriol, race director today, getting further information. And this was what shocked everybody. He says that an army group, 300 men, 40 armed vehicles, 4x4s, plus full armoured refueling trucks, which would allow them to move very, very fast and quickly and long distance, are waiting for us. It's an independent group, he says. Mokhtar Mokhtari is the man in charge. It's an Islamist separatist movement who are looking to separate a state for themselves with land from Mali, Algeria, Mauritania and Niger. And of course they were intending to hit this rally to embarrass Niger, taking revenge on them for an incident in 1998 where the local army took on this group and neutralized them. So a diplomatic note, the same source, saying they intended to attack us en route and take on apparently everybody. So many men, so many powerful vehicles, and so many weapons. Suddenly, an airlift seemed sensible. Many people asking why we're going on at all. So that news, something of a bombshell, that came late on this evening, just as the dusk was beginning to fall, and we went and spoke to a few other people, and there is genuine shock amongst all the competitors and indeed the organisers. Now though, it's down to logistics, and the movement is going to be a difficult one. Antonov troop transporters are coming in. They'll be arriving in the night, and they will be flying 24 hours a day. Each one of these monoliths can actually take 10 cars and 3 trucks apiece. They're going to start off with the helicopters and then start moving out everyone else. Fingers crossed, please, for us here on the Dakar. And so, too, yesterday, before all this trouble, we were heading to Namik, stage 6, leaving Burkina Faso, many of us wishing we'd never left at all. The trucks still in there. And these, of course, one of the major headaches, lifting these boys out is not going to be easy. Thumbs up from Diaz-Avado, winner of the previous day's stage. Lopre, he's third overall, behind Diaz-Avado. It's Chigini, though, who's on top. Lopre giving a wave, sums up the optimism and confidence of these drivers. Chigini himself in the Kamaz, looking unbeatable in the trucks. But it's going to be a few days before they can do battle again. Well, we all thought we had problems. What about this man, Jean-Francois Guinot? Where's the vehicle? Don't worry, it's not underneath his knees. This is a wadi, and he's got stuck. A wadi is a dried up riverbed. And he said, well, I dare translate it actually, but he's in trouble. Let's put it that way. Well, the running boards apparently look ineffective. A turn in the river, blocked yet again. This is typical Dakar fare. Oh, Francois Guignot, apparently used to it. Chip away that riverside, would you? Just need to get a bit of purchase. Well, as others were passing them. Not laughing, you can be sure. Just encourages trouble for yourself further down the line. Well, miraculously, they were to escape from this one. When you see how much further down the wadi he had to travel, it really was an impressive effort. As soon as you stop, your problems mount. Guinot, driving clear, but not driven mad, thankfully. Just too soft. Pilot made a decision. The driver, that's it, blame each other. Exhausting, it most certainly is. Looking for his watch, I presume. It's not a holiday. I tell you what, we'll just head off for a quick swim in the sea. He's a long way from the sea. So farewell then to the greenery of Burkina Faso. Mixed terrain ahead of all and sundry. It's a great day. Sadly, the last for a few days showed some great spirit, this race. The determination to carry on with the Dakar is 100% amongst competitors. They're glad to be here. It's a privilege to be part of such an event. and they're not going to let anyone take it away from them.
You know, yeah, we are sitting knowing that a factory rider has got backup all the time, and I'd hate to know what the privateer's like. Yesterday, I must tell you, Con, while I was sitting for 4 hours under the tree, some privateer, French rider arrived. His motor was blown. The day before, he washed the air filter in normal oil, and I mean, you know, normal oil, filter oil doesn't work. The sand went straight into the motor. I had a grown man sitting next to me under the tree in complete tears. I wanted to cry for him myself, because I know in 4 hours the truck's coming, I'll have a new engine and I'm going to finish the race. Here's a man who spent every cent of his family's money to come to a race, and he's totally destroyed. He's throwing the sand in the air. I thought he was losing his marbles because he's crying, swearing in French about the sand, because that's what's damaged his engine. And here I'm lying there thinking, well, I haven't got a care in the world. You know, my engine's coming. Here's the man spent thousands, hundreds and thousands, and he's not going to go on.
There are indeed princes and there are paupers on the Dakar. Alfie Cox speaking about what it's like to ride for a big team instead of being a privateer. He says it's luxurious. And indeed, as you can see, that was tonight after all the bad news had come in. Still a passion for this race there for all to see. And the spirit of the race summed up beautifully yesterday. Sankt and Roma, the leaders at the top of the pile in the bikes, rode home together. Not holding hands, but they may as well have done. So the question is, can that spirit be maintained for 5 days and reignited in Libya? Everyone says it can. Let's hope they're right.